Proverbs, when you don't know what to do next. There comes a point in every life where the road ahead feels blurry. You're standing at a crossroads, you're weighing options, you're praying for clarity, and yet nothing feels certain. Maybe it's from a decision you've delayed, maybe it's a direction you've questioned, maybe it's a future step you're afraid to take. Proverbs was written for moments exactly like this, not to shame us, not to rush us, but to prepare us, to show us that clarity is not a lightning bolt from heaven. Clarity is the fruit of wisdom, and wisdom is simple. Seek counsel, take steps, and trust God. Today we'll look at several short parables from Proverbs that provide angles of the same truth. Wise decisions require counsel, movement, patience, and trust. So let's begin. Parable 1, Safety in Many Voices. Proverbs 11:14 says, "Where there is no guidance, a people falls, but in an abundance of counselors there is safety." Hear this verse for a moment. There's a world without guidance and a world with it. One world ends in collapse, the other is surrounded by safety. The first move of wisdom is this: don't try to figure out life alone. Isolation exaggerates your fears and blinds your judgment. Wise voices widen your perspective and steady your steps. Here's something you can do. Think of one person you trust. Do you actually seek their counsel? There may be something you're struggling with that they could completely reframe with a single insight. So, reach out to someone trustworthy and ask for counsel on the decision you're facing. Sometimes one honest conversation is all that stands between you and a fall, or you and your success. Parable 2, Plans Need People. Proverbs 15:22 says, "Without counsel, plans fail, but with many advisors they succeed." This proverb adds something deeper. Your plan is only as strong as the voices around you. We tend to think our ideas are solid until someone we trust asks one good question, and suddenly everything becomes clear. Counsel doesn't weaken your plan, it strengthens it. It reveals blind spots, it prevents mistakes, it brings alignment. Here's an action you can take on this wisdom. Take one plan you've been forming in your mind and show it to someone, preferably someone who sees differently than you. Let their perspective refine it. Wisdom grows in communities. Parable 3, Move Your Feet. Proverbs 16:9 says, "The heart of man plans his way, but the Lord establishes his steps." Notice the word steps, not your thoughts, not your fears, not your intentions, your steps. God directs movement, not paralysis. We often wait for perfect clarity before taking action, but Scripture is teaching the opposite here. Take the step you know, and God will guide the next. Wisdom plans, faith moves, God establishes. An action for you would be do one small step towards the decision you've been avoiding, the first logical step. We get caught up in the end result, but if we just start, the end will take care of itself. God can only steer what is actually moving. Just like you can turn the wheel of your car, but it will only change direction if you're moving the car as well. One note, there is a fine line between being spontaneous and impulsive. For me, this wisdom applies to the things I'm so caught up in, I don't know where to start, so I just need to take that first plunge in. Parable 4, The Danger You're Pretending Not to See. Proverbs 22:3 says, "The prudent sees danger and hides himself, but the simple go on and suffer for it." Sometimes the issue isn't confusion, it's avoidance. You do know what to do, you're just hoping you don't have to do it. This proverb is direct. Wise people respond to red flags, foolish people walk into them. If there's danger on the path ahead, a toxic relationship, a risky decision, a repeated pattern, wisdom doesn't wait, it adjusts. And an action we can take for this is name for yourself one danger you've been ignoring and make one adjustment so you can avoid it. I'm sure if you pray and meditate on it, you'll find one danger you've been ignoring. Parable 5. Your understanding versus God's direction. Proverbs 3:5 says, "Trust in the Lord with all your heart, and do not lean on your own understanding." This is where decision-making ultimately leads. Surrender. Your understanding is limited. Your perspective is narrow. Your strength is finite, but God's is not. Wisdom means trusting that God sees what you cannot, knows what you do not, and guides you in ways you cannot recognize until later. Something we can do on this is pray to God. Say a prayer for yourself like, "Lord, I'm trusting your understanding more than my own. Lord, I'm trusting your understanding more than my own. Let me do your will instead of my own. Let this prayer be a doorway that lets wisdom walk into my heart." Parable 6. Wisdom waits before acting. Proverbs 19:2 says, "Desire without knowledge is not good, and whoever makes haste with his feet misses his way." Feel the pull of impatience in this verse. Desire pushing forward, and wisdom slowing you down. Not every decision requires speed. Sometimes our worst mistakes happen not because we didn't act, but because we acted too quickly. Haste is not faith. It is fear in motion. Wisdom teaches us to pause, ask questions, listen longer, and move only with understanding. Something we can do is choose one decision this week where you will deliberately slow down and seek clarity before acting. Parable 7. The counsel you don't want to hear. Proverbs 12:15 says, "The way of a fool is right in his own eye, but a wise man listens to advice." Listen to the contrast. A fool is confident in himself, and a wise person is open to correction. Sometimes the guidance we need most is the one we least want to hear. A fool will dismiss uncomfortable truth, while a wise person allows that correction to shape them. This proverb gently exposes spiritual pride, the belief that I already know. You don't need to follow every opinion, but you should never shut out counsel that challenges your assumptions. Something we could do on this is invite one person this week to speak honestly into our decisions, especially if we suspect we won't love what they say. Parable 8. Your step becomes your path. Proverbs 3:6 says, "In all your ways acknowledge him, and he will make straight your paths." Notice the order, your ways and then his paths. A straight path in Proverbs doesn't mean easy or predictable or immediately clear. It means God removes the stumbling blocks you didn't even know were there, and he opens doors you couldn't have opened alone. But this promise begins with one practice. Acknowledge him in every way. Invite God into the small decisions, the quiet fears, the private crossroads. Where he is acknowledged in your ways, he is active in your path. Something we can do is, before making a decision this week, whisper a simple prayer. "Lord, be in this with me." The simple prayer can realign your whole heart towards the situation. When you don't know what to do next, you're not stuck, you're being shaped. God uses these unclear moments to form humility, to build dependence, to sharpen wisdom, and to anchor your heart to his voice. You don't need to see 5 miles ahead. You only need to take the next step in obedience, in honesty, and in trust. Wisdom is not the ability to see the future. Wisdom is the courage to walk with God in the present. Take the next step in faith, and God will meet you in it, and he will make the path straight beneath your feet.